Well, hi, thanks for coming back to my channel. My name's Todd, the Nostalgia Picker. What I do is I go to estate sales, big box stores, garage sales, thrift stores, flea markets, anywhere I can find a good deal. Even sometimes people call me up and say, hey Todd, I've got some stuff you might want to look at. And then I go look at it and I'll buy it, or sometimes I don't. But either way, I buy stuff. Antiques, vintage, I buy stuff, right? And I flip it on eBay. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing for the last 8 years. Doing that full time. And I'm always changing, improving, trying to make things better, trying to find the right items to sell. But we've been sustaining ourselves consistently for the last 6. I've been doing it for 8. It's been good for 6. The first couple were bumpy. It was a learning curve. So keep that in mind. If you're starting on eBay or thinking about starting on eBay, it's going to take time to scale up. So start now so that in a few months you'll be good to go, or in a year you'll be good to go. All right, we got to get this stuff shipped out quick. So I'm not going to talk. I'm going to do a voiceover from here forward. I'll fast forward through some stuff, but I've got about an hour to knock these few here to ship out. But I just want to get through it quickly, so I'm going to be quiet and then I'll do a voiceover. All right, thanks for watching. Leave comments below if you have any questions on anything that I do. Appreciate you watching. Here I go. So I figured since this video is about shipping, I'm going to talk about shipping. To make my life easier when I'm going to list my items, I mean, the shipping and listing, it's one big circle. And so it all starts with taking your pictures, because that's going to make your shipping easier. And let me explain this. When I take my pictures, whether it's a pair of jeans, a t-shirt, a knick-knack, a paddywhack, a tchotchke, whatever you want to call it, 9 times out of 10 you will see a ruler, a measuring tape, a yardstick, something that is showing the customer that's looking at my product how large this is. Because sometimes the scale is hard to tell based on a picture, right? So you want to make sure that they get the product that they're looking at. So I use a measuring tape or some type of measuring device. In addition to that, so I take a picture of that, for myself, so I know what size box I'm going to need to ship this thing in when I go to sit down to list this, right? So that makes that part easier. And then the weight part, I keep a different scale. I have a couple different scales, an old scale, a new scale, whatever. But I'm using my first scale in my shipping or in my picture taking area, and I put my product on there and I take a picture of my product on that scale with the weight. Now, I don't include that in the listing unless it's prevalent, or not prevalent, or relevant. Yeah, relevant. Unless it's relevant. If it's relevant, then I'll include it in there. So those two things right there, measuring your product and weighing your product, is going to make your life so much easier. Okay, now let me tell you why. Because when you go to list it, you're going to put the exact measurements in. You're going to be able to put almost the exact weight in. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky, because you have to factor in the cost of, or the weight of, the box. Now, depending on what size the product is going to determine how heavy that box is going to be, right? So it's very important to get these things right, because this is one of the key things that can make or break you when you first start selling on eBay, is getting your measurements and your shipping dimensions right. You don't want to overpay, and you want to be just right on the money if possible. One thing I did when I first started was I pre-made, if I knew I had certain boxes, like a bunch of boxes that I ordered from the U.S. Post Office. You can get those for free. Priority boxes. There are flat rate boxes, but I've never used those. I've always just used priority. And I'll pre-make a 12 by 9. It'll be a 12 by 12 by 9, which is the priority large box. I'll just make several different size boxes, and I'll have those off to the side. And then as I'm doing my picture taking, I'm like, okay, I can grab this, and I know it's going to fit in this. And so I kind of just can test it out and know that this is going to fit in here, and I can put it all together, and it works out good that way. So I think you know what I'm saying. Just have a box off to the side that is probably going to work. And that way you can weigh it. That's my point. You can weigh it all together. You also have to factor in some shipping paper, tape. Even tape weighs, depending on if it's heavy duty or light tape. You'd be surprised. I guess I put on so much tape that it'll go up. And if it goes up an ounce or two or whatever, it's going to make a difference. Everything makes a difference, so it's important to learn to get it right as soon as you can. Okay, so one more time, measure your stuff and weigh your stuff. Take pictures of both of those things in the picture taking process. It will help you with your listing process. And then when you go to ship the stuff, you'll look up and you can just confirm that, yep, I put the right box in there, I have the right weight within or two, or within, give or take a couple ounces or whatever, but you're going to be really, really close. And that's better than just guessing. Because if you guess, could have a big, big problem. You don't want to just guess. I'm going to change subjects real quick. I need to speak about a channel that I recently stumbled upon. It's called Books No Home. I started watching this channel last week or 2 weeks ago. I've watched every video, I've watched every short a couple different times. Why? Because it inspires me. Now let me tell you a little bit more about this gentleman. I'm not sure what his name is, but he and his wife and his cat are currently homeless. They are resellers. They have a storage unit that they keep all of their books and inventory in, and they have a vehicle that they rent by the day. The reason this gentleman inspires me is he's an immigrant here. He has no credentials here. He's just like he says, I'm quoting him, he said he started on the ground, which he is on the ground, trying to get things figured out. But he's doing it, and he is doing it. When 2 weeks ago, he had 60 subscribers. Now, today, he's got 150 subscribers. That is awesome. The only thing I've done so far is reached out to a handful of my friends and said, hey, go check out this channel. And I see that several of you did, so I appreciate that. But we need to encourage this gentleman, encourage his wife, and they're on the right path. They're doing everything right, and I'm inspired by their story. So I'm going to leave the link to his channel in the description box below. And I asked him if I could do that, and he said yes. I'm also going to include the link to his eBay store. That is going to make all the difference in the world because they live on a day-by-day basis. So once you go watch his videos, you'll understand what I'm saying. And for some reason, my heart has just been tugged at, and something says, Todd, you need to help this gentleman somehow, some way. So this is the little thing that I can do is, give him a shout out. Books No Home. Link in the description box below. Please go check out his channel, and then go check out his eBay store. And if there's something in there that you're compelled to purchase it from him, because that will help him tremendously. So once again, Books No Home, description box below. And if you're watching this, sir, I don't know what your name is, but thank you for giving me permission to go ahead and share your story. I'm inspired by you. You're going to do great. Just keep pushing one day at a time. You're inspiring me and many, many others. So keep going. You've got this. Okay, so now I'm going to switch back to the shipping lessons that I've learned in the 8 years that I've been reselling. I've shipped off 8,100 plus items in that amount of time. So I've shipped a lot of products. Used a lot of tape, a lot of polys, a lot of boxes. Everything from free to not free. So number one on my list, and we just talked about this, was measure and weigh your stuff when you picture it, and take a picture of that. It's going to make a big difference. I always include a little bit more shipping material than I need to, a little bit more tape than I need to. Maybe I go put an extra bag around the thing or whatever. I always do a little bit more than necessary because you'll be surprised how much man, these packages go through some stuff out there, and once they leave your hands and they hit the post office, you don't know what's going to happen to that box. And tell you what, things happen. Things happen, and it's easier if you have protected it to the nth degree. And then if something happens, well, then that's just the way it's supposed to go. But if you don't do everything in your possible, if you don't use every resource that you have, then you're doing yourself an injustice. Is what I'm trying to say is save yourself some time, make your time count and your money count and everything count by just adding that extra little bit of padding. Okay, so that was that. Always round up when you're taking your pictures, or I'm sorry, when you're weighing your stuff, round up. When you are measuring your stuff, Roundup. Definitely want to round up. All right. Boxes, free boxes versus purchase boxes. When I first started, I went to Pier 1 Imports and got boxes. Now, if I need boxes for free, I will go to Dollar General. But I generally don't even have to do that because all my in-laws, they get stuff from Amazon and they order stuff. And so if I need a free box that's a different size, that's something that I don't have on hand from the post office, I will use a pre-used box that's in perfect shape. I will either put that box in a poly to cover up any writing that's on the outside of it, or I will flip the box inside out, just depending on how big and what it is. Everything is a case-by-case deal. So that's that. Well, what's the benefits of free boxes? You get them for free. What's the downsides? They're not going to be quite as structurally strong as something that you may have purchased or something that you've gotten from the post office. But that's not always the case. Depending on how much tape you're willing to use and, that kind of stuff. If you're getting the box for free, you may have to use a little bit more tape to hold that thing together. Don't just put one piece of tape. Tape that thing up. Tape it good. All right. So when you never know what size boxes that you really have on hand, you just have a pile of boxes or a big box full of boxes and you're not sure. You have big to small, but you don't know what sizes they are. So when you go to list your stuff, you don't know what sizes you're putting it in. It makes everything is a waterfall kind of thing. So if you don't know what boxes you have on hand, size-wise, you don't know what you have. If you don't know what size polys you have, then you don't know what you have, right? So when you go to list the stuff, how are you going to list it? So if you have 10 by 13s, you have 5 by 7. I'm talking polys. 10 by 13s, 5 by 7s, 4 by 6s, 14.5 by 19s, 12.5 by 14s. You've got all this stuff on hand, 19 by 24s. You have that ready to go, right? So now when you're listing, you know what you have. Same thing with boxes. Oh, good, there is nobody in there. So what I do when I get to the post office is I come in here and I set down all my packages so that they're easy for her to scan. It makes her job and life easier. And it makes everybody waiting in line's life easier if we have it together all the time. Hi, how are you today?
Good.
Good. You okay being on film?
I did it once before.
Okay, good. This is my friendly neighborhood postal lady. This is Corrine.
Hi. Oh, let's see.
I was explaining to people how it's important to get here a little bit early. You don't want to be the guy getting here at 4:25. Yeah.
4:30, you mean?
Yeah.
10:02.
Although I have slid in at the last minute many times. How's your day going?
Not too bad.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Kind of quiet today.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't see boxes and boxes back there. Usually it's piled up.
It's been kind of quiet.
And that thing I was telling you about the receipts, it's a 50-50. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want your receipt?
No.
Okay. That's the other 50.
Yep, I'll err on that side of the 50. And I'll speed through this and I'll cut it up and make it go fast too. This part.
Oh, great.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
It is Books No Home. Go to Books No Home. Links in the description box below. Check out all of his videos. Check out all of his stores. Leave lots of comments. Leave lots of likes and subscribe. And encourage him. Keep him going. And then I'll also leave a link to his eBay store. I've got permission to do that, so I'm going to do that as well. You can go check out his eBay store, buy some stuff from him. He'll ship it off to you. He does a good job. Thanks for watching. Todd, Nostalgia Picker. I'll see you in the next one.